For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for another edition of the Chris Richardson Show. Currently joined by Wheeling University head men's basketball coach Chris Richardson. And Chris, obviously an exciting win for you guys on Saturday. Win it with that tip in with 2 seconds left. Talk about that game and kind of what it was like being a part of it.
It was a great college basketball game, and we've been on the wrong end of some of those, and we're fortunate on Saturday to be on the right end. I think Charleston's biggest lead was 5 points, and our biggest lead was 4. So back and forth the whole game. Two teams that are pretty similar in terms of how they try to play, and two teams that I know have a great deal of respect for each other. So really excited about that win, but ready to move on into this week.
And talk about that last play a little bit. 12 seconds left. Sean Ely brings it down the court, gets the shot up that leads to that tip in. Talk about that play from your perspective and kind of how it was drawn up.
Yeah, so we had worked on that exact situation about 24 hours earlier at the end of practice on Friday. And so I think everybody's on the same page. Quick discussion with Sean and Marcus. No, we did not want to call a timeout. Make sure everybody's on the same page with that. Next decision, what are we going to run? We knew exactly what we wanted to run. Everybody's on the same page with that. And so credit to them for executing it. We didn't want to get too complicated there. Keep it simple. Try to get a paint touch. See if we can force some help and either kick it for an open shot or drop it off. Sean got a great look right there in the paint, a shot that he had made a number of times throughout the game. And even though that one didn't fall, Marcus and Kevin were both in great position to make an impact on the glass. And so with 10 seconds left, I think it was, you need to build in time, not just for the first shot, but for the second shot. And so executed that well, and then I thought we executed the final possession defensively, trying to take away their full court play as well. So really proud of our execution and carrying it over from the practice court into a game situation on Saturday.
And then in that second half of the game, you guys were challenged. Charleston shot 51% from the floor. You guys responded with 55% from the floor in that second half. How were you able to be so efficient?
Just understanding who we are. We talked a ton going into the game. Like, so many Mountain East games are 95, 100 possessions, right? This game was not going to be as high possessions as some of those games, which means every possession on each end is that much more critical. Now, we got to get more stops. If we're going to win more games, we got to get more stops. But credit Charleston because they made some phenomenal plays offensively. But I thought we did too. I thought we played really well within ourselves. We played together. We took what the defense gave us, but we didn't force a whole lot. Caleb Murray hit some big shots, but that's what he's here to do. That he knows that's a big part of his role is hitting shots. And so just loved our togetherness. I loved the energy on our bench. I thought the energy from the crowd really lifted us down the stretch. Great crowd on Saturday, and so all in all, just a really fun day.
And you mentioned Murray there. That's one guy I wanted to bring up. Hit 4 threes in the game. It's his third time this season hitting 4 3-pointers. Talk about him and kind of what he's brought off the bench this year for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, he started our first couple games, right? And so we start off 0-2, and you don't want to hit the panic button. But at that point in the season, and as you go through November, December, as we talked about, you're finding the heartbeat of your team. You're trying to find the right combinations. You're still learning a lot about your team. And so we had a talk before we went up to the U-ville about bringing him off the bench, not because of anything he'd done wrong, but just because he could add a real, scoring threat coming into the game. And he has just taken that and completely run with it. Anytime he gets his eyes on the rim, he doesn't have to shoot. But he's embraced that role of scoring off the bench. And his teammates have embraced him in that role, and our starting lineup has embraced its roles. And so just really happy for him because – he came in and didn't play a ton last year, but just bided his time and was patient and kept working. He was in here a lot, in the spring and see him around in the summer, and he's still in here every day. I mean, Sunday evening, he's in there getting shots, when I leave the building at 6:30 Sunday evening, day after he hit 4 threes. So when people put in that type of work and they get the results, you're really happy for them.
Currently joined by Wheeling University head men's basketball coach Chris Richardson. And Chris, you get this win right ending the 2023 portion of your MEC schedule, heading into the break. What does that do for you guys now sitting in a decent spot to get ready for January?
Yeah, I mean, it's important to get as many wins as we can. You got to take them one at a time, obviously, but nobody wanted that, just kind of the way we got into that rut last year right out of the gate. Where I can't remember what our losing streak was, but it was a very, very long December. Apologies to the Counting Crows. But, our guys have really come in every day with a get-better mentality. There's two things that happen when you get in the gym. You're either going to get better or you get worse. You're never going to stay the same. And so they've come in every day looking forward to getting better. They've pushed each other. They've put in a ton of time on their own. And so we got to continue those things. If we can continue those things and continue that get better mentality, more wins will come. But it's more of a byproduct of the work that you put in outside of game day.
And heading into your non-conference schedule here over the Christmas break, you start things Wednesday with a battle against Cal U. Talk about this matchup kind of and how you're going to head on the road and take this matchup.
I think they might be best team in the PSAC. A lot of people think they are, and I haven't seen anything on tape over the last couple of days that gives me any other opinion than that. I mean, they're really talented. They're extremely well coached. It's going to be a really hard game, but it's a great opportunity for us as well. It's their first true home game. They played at their old arena on Sunday against Chestnut Hill and beat them by almost 50 points, I think. And so extremely talented, really well coached, got a lot of players back, not just from last year's team that had a winning record, but 2 years ago when they finished in the regional finals. So they're loaded. It's going to be a great test for us. And we've got to move on quickly from Saturday and focus on a whole new set of game keys and what it takes to win on Wednesday so that we can go over there and give it our best shot against a great team.
And as you head through the rest of this month of December, 2 non-conference games. You have Cal U this week and then Franciscan near the end of the month. How do you attack this Christmas break to kind of keep that momentum going and prepare for 2024?
Well, there's shared responsibility. The guys will be home. After they finish their finals, guys will head home and they'll be back after Christmas, and so that's a lengthy break. But I know our guys. That's not going to be just 2 weeks off for them. They're going to be in the gym. They're going to be working. They're going to be conditioning. They're going to be getting shots up. They're going to be tighten up their handle. They're going to be playing. So we gotta keep the main thing the main thing. I want everybody to have a great Christmas, enjoy time with their loved ones. But also understand that when we get back, there's a responsibility that we got to be ready to go because we got Franciscan coming in here, and then shortly after that we jump right back into Mountain East play. So I love the Division II life and the balance break. I think it's one of the best things about Division II. But there's also a responsibility, not just as players but as coaches, to stay focused on the goals and the work that it takes to reach those goals during that time.
Thanks, Chris. Good luck this week. Can't wait to see you out there.
Thanks, Zach. Go Cards. Merry Christmas.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.